I don't want that to me. That makes me nervous.
So you're all ready to dangle for this.
We're supposed to kick off the negotiation, the FLA.
That's you a little bit.
You're
Just make sure.
I don't think anyone's the FLA.
Because I used it for the group meetings.
There's no one.
But it should probably be Harborco since they're bringing this here.
Take it away, Harborco.
I'll be back down here.
It's really, you gotta pitch us, this is your project.
To pitch it now? Okay, so good evening everybody. Like you all know, we are starting a deep water port here in the East Coast, which is a really interesting project because it would develop the economy of this area substantially. And so we had offline discussions about this earlier, and we all know what we are going to say and what we want. So, who wants to go first?
Should we take it issue by issue?
Maybe we can just ultimately after the whole school knows that we all are on the same page in the first place, so why not?
Yeah, maybe you guys can give your ideas about the regional.
Let's go with
Proposal.
industry mix first, if everybody's okay with that.
Let me see.
I don't even see why we, need a deep water port.
So you have industry?
We have all these other ports. I don't really understand why we need a new port when we have across the eastern seaboard, a bunch of good working ports.
I agree.
Yeah, those are not deep water ports. Point simply. It's something new because there are very huge, large ships that are new. As per these ports are like 10 years old, right? So the new ships that have come up like effectively reduces the cost of transporting particular good by half of the amount. So which is kind of ecologically effective in general to the global system. And also it increases the transport that comes into the country. So it's something that is not new. It's not there in country eastern coast altogether. So that's why we plan to have it here, and of any sites that Harborco looked as to where it's possible to do so, it zeroed down in this particular area. So that is the reason why we need deep water, and they found the sites were pretty interesting. That's why they are in this state. So
I agree with you in that part. Based on all of analysis, deep water port is much different from the ports we already have. So it's supposed to boost the East Coast economy as well as the national economy.
Yeah, even I'm actually representing the union. So there are a lot of people who lost their jobs in the last 3 years. There are a lot of people who doesn't have jobs. So I think this particular project will give a lot of job opportunities, and I feel that this is a must-have considering time.
Okay. Thank you, I think so.
Now, why wouldn't Harborco look at why couldn't we redevelop some of our other ports? We have all these ports. Why can't we make them into a deep water port?
maybe I think we are digressing from the actual point here. We are, as of now, they have come to a
I'm sorry,
conclusion.
but can I get an introduction of all of you? I do not know school.
This year,
Okay.
I am from Governor's office.
Okay.
And
She's
I'm environmental lead.
I'm representing the union.
I represent the other ports.
Okay. No. Now it makes sense.
So our negotiation point is not about why Harborco
Why
choose
deep
one
water?
other, why or why not this port. Thing is, as to going forward, they have already made the decision about this particular port now, about funding and what kind of features this port should have. That's why we are negotiating here.
Now I think for, you brought up jobs, if the DRC can give our ports money to, improve them, that can create jobs across the country, not just one high-risk project that we don't know how long it's gonna go. We have established ports that are running already, and if the DRC invests money instead of going in one big project but rather in a bunch of safer projects, it's much more of a safe bet that there'll be more jobs created on those projects and for a longer term versus a project we don't know will ever be finished. Real estate development is incredibly risky. And already we know the DRC, Harborco is not union friendly, as we can see from their submitted license application, is that they want no unions. So I wouldn't see necessarily why the unions would be interested in working with someone who has already agreed, already made up their mind that they don't want any union involvement.
We have, I think there was 2 points here. First is again the same thing, that why we chose Harborco chose Deepwater to be in this state. Second, whether they want union or not. So whether they want union or not, we can talk over as of now.
I have to clarify one part of your talking. I don't agree to the amounts that we are going to loan to Harborco 2. I think that amount of money needs to be rediscussed. That's definitely too high and too risky for ECR to invest on you.
Well, I don't necessarily agree that it's a risky project because, and like you said, we don't know the timelines, but we definitely do have the timelines. We actually submitted that in the proposal as well. So it goes into, like the port goes live in 10 years and within 20 years of time frame it becomes a full-fledged port. And
I just
and the
think
next
back
point,
to, the difference between 2000 and 2008, the economy was booming in 2000 and then 2008 you've got nothing. 10 years is really quite a long time for a project and really quite risky.
But you should,
I think we're still sitting on a bunch of development projects across the country that, had less than a 10-year timeline and they're still unfinished.
it would be more beneficial for you if you look at it as an economic opportunity for you as well, because it would bring in a lot more industries and they will bring in business for you as well. It's not necessarily that we are the competitors or we have to fight with each other for business. It's a high-tech industry, right? It's not a...
And more so, I think why Harborco chose this particular project, we are kind of stalling this particular negotiation. Because this discussion, by doing that, we are actually pushing back the actual negotiation that we're supposed to do. This particular discussion should have been done in the previous phases when the proposal was being sent to various boards as to what are the various options that should be done. So whether at that point of time, whether an existing port should be upgraded to a deep or what are the pros and cons, those things have been measured during the previous phases. At this point of time, that decision has been taken. Now as far as the background information is to, if this decision goes through, what are the compensation packages and what are the benefits that we can give you from this port, that we are going to discuss as of now. So I don't see a point when we are here to negotiate on 5 issues. So let's stick to that and not bring a new issue as to why Harborco chose seaborne over other ports, or whether a new port should be created or whether not existing should be upgraded. So this was something that the previous discussion. So let's stick to the 5 points that we have as of now, and let's go with it.
I think, I thought I was on the points. I thought it was it's a risky project. That it won't necessarily create jobs.
Any new venture is risky, and any new venture,
harmful to the environment.
Yes, it's again, it's something we have a lot of options to see, and we are here to discuss on that. So as a governor of state, we have to make sure that environment is also in the good books and economy is also in the good books. We just can't go with one of them and live with it. We have to make sure everyone is happy, and let's go by issue by issue. So let's talk about industry mix. The point is, what kind of industry mix we prefer? Industry mix means you are the one who will be doing.
I think what was filed, the one that was filed was primarily dirty.
Yeah, that's one.
I think we should go for a mix of both, like clean and dirty, rather than primary dirty, because that will be good from an economical perspective and also from an economy perspective. If it's just dirty, only a particular workforce is being targeted. If it's a mix of both, we can provide opportunities for employees from different kind of sectors.
Well, let me ask you, what is the harm in it being clean, completely clean?
Completely clean is very good, I would say, but again at this point of time we have to look at the various factors. Like when we are bringing in some project, there should be benefits across various sectors. Like one is economy, how we can provide job opportunities. So if it's a mix of both, I feel that a lot of workforce, which is kind of that diverse workforce, will be benefited rather than if it's just all clean.
Let me ask you, so if we've got 10 years before this turns a profit, we've got a lot of time to plan. And is it not in our city's best interest to say, you know, we're going to take a risk on, not a risk, but we, you know, obviously clean energy is already proven, but we're going to invest in clean energy because we're disrupting the environment, we're disrupting the ocean, and if we're going to do this, then we should be as responsible as possible. So if people are out of jobs or maybe not necessarily trained or there's a high unemployment rate, why don't we take those individuals and train them on clean energy so that not only are we providing jobs, but also you know, we're being responsible for the environment.
I understand that, but again, it's easy to actually focus on a lot of industries like manufacturing and all. But when you say clean, can you just explain on what are the industries?
From here we have three options, right? B1, B2, B3.
So clean.
There are two issues involved, right?
No,
One is
let's stick to the industry mix first, and
Sorry.
because we're jumping onto the
Sorry, I missed
It
it.
says high-tech production industries, but to me, tell me if I'm wrong here, like, for the purposes of this, let's say, wind power, water power, solar power, I mean, there's a mix of things that we could do that would all be clean energy.
Well, that's something to be looked upon by the environmental.
Okay, so there's a problem with all clean. As you know, see, the thing is, when we go with the all clean option, it's basically banking to one particular type of industries which are generally clean, and it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. If let's say economies goes down, that market particularly goes down, it affects the entire state, as in the entire state goes in poverty in one go, or if that particular market is doing good, so it goes, all the state is in a rich state. So it kind of, from a broader perspective, I agree that having a clean house is always a good thing to have, but we have to see the trade-off from a security perspective also as to what are the advantages, pros and cons of each industry. So I definitely agree that all clean is best to have, but it doesn't offer the same kind of security that the primarily dirty or clean energy offers. But yeah, again, primarily dirty has other problems that union has pointed out.
Especially, I don't understand why it's a problem when even the primarily dirty industries are conforming to the existing federal and state pollution regulations.
Anyway, yeah, but that's almost like saying we're okay with having a D. I mean, we want to be best in show. We want to be with this kind of a development where.
Well, I'm investing $4 billion in a port. I can't just go with one particular industry and lose all my money in that way.
Is it all your money though?
I mean, I'm just saying that I'm borrowing from him. So.
it's federal money, but they need to pay back.
Yeah,
right?
it's a loan, right?
It's a loan.
So I mean, we've got to do what's best for our city and what's best for the environment.
Yeah, even I don't agree going for a primarily dirty one because we need to look at the nature also.
But you're the union guy. You should be happy that I'll be creating a lot more jobs if I go with.
No, yeah, I am representing the union, but union people are also staying in this area. So looking at, we are
Yeah, but
actually
we're
worried
not
that,
polluting the environment.
No,
We're just
primarily-
doing whatever the other industries are already doing.
no, we should not look at
It's
other
still-
industries, like primarily dirty will definitely have an impact on the surroundings that the people are living. So even though I represent the union, I definitely am representing as a person of this particular area. So I definitely want, or the union definitely want a good surroundings for the people to live in. That is also very important for us.
And moreover, from the primarily dirty, as in it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's gonna be dirty forever. It's like it's a mix of companies. We are actually having a more security, and that mix has clean also and dirty company also. So it's like you are just not
Primarily dirty.
excluding. You are just not excluding any particular set of companies
So
from the list.
I just
You're
can't,
having more options.
I can't see us disrupting the ocean
And
in this
especially, I don't
way.
understand why it's such a big issue, because these industries are already present,
Yeah.
and we are not creating.
Yeah, the thing is, we are not making them.
So we're just gonna continue to destroy the earth.
Okay, I think there's just one more issue involved here. Actually, issue B.
Right, I mean, are you with me?
I think we're being short-sighted on
Yeah.
this. I think from a job standpoint, if we look at what the future of the economy is going to be, look at Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
look at where the money is. It's in technology, it's in clean energy, it's in the Tesla motors and the solar plants of the future. And for us to go with a mix, I think is.
That's
to
my
go-
exact points.
I think
Even
a mix
these
is a
clean-
bad point. I think we should go all clean because I
Yeah.
think that will provide higher wages,
No.
more jobs in the future.
All clean doesn't mean that they're using clean energy. It just means that they're not at all including. They're just including high-tech industries
Yeah.
where there's no, solid.
We shouldn't be carried away with the words.
Yeah.
Because even IT companies use diesel electric power. So they are not actually clean, but yeah, thing is, they are lesser
High-tech
clean.
companies, but I think they're better jobs in the long run. I think these,
Your
we
point
see
is-
what happens in the places like Detroit and Pittsburgh
Yeah.
that rely on these old industries.
Did you-
We are
Did
not,
you
yeah,
know-
exactly, that's the point. We are not relying on one particular industry. Let's say tomorrow, 2000.
But these are the
Y2K
industries of the
comes.
past, and we've already seen that. To
Yeah.
go with a mix, you're just going to have to catch up
2020
later.
2020, you don't know Silicon Valley be a thing of
No,
past.
no, no.
You don't know, right?
And
So
also,
it's-
your
But
point is
we're always gonna
absolutely
care about
true.
the
I mean, even
environment,
these
though.
industries
yeah,
would.
we are on that point. We
is,
have
I
to
you
think
know,
if one person can talk, if another person can
Please, please, please.
No, banking on your point, these industries are going towards clean energy now. Even the
So
petrochemical
let's
plants
lead the
are-
way. I don't understand
Yeah.
why we're doing a large development project and we're not choosing to be leaders.
Yeah.
You're the leader of a state. Let's take leadership on these issues. And provide jobs.
While
That
we're
are going to
doing
be
So that's
that
what we're
while
doing.
that are going to be long-term, higher-paying jobs.
Exactly, that's why
These are
we
the jobs of the
Yeah,
future.
that's
It's
Actually,
clean
I
energy.
thought that if we let this industry be totally purely clean, we are going to eventually get more jobs on this.
Yeah.
I thought that.
Oh,
even I doubt that if it's
I
all
don't
I think we will.
Now, your administration has put in billions of dollars
Yeah,
investing into green technology.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you would go against your superiors.
And
Because
I-
those industries, I think they need to conform to the local environment rules too. And I want to see themselves, the Harborco, when they build their port, what would they do to show they have a resolution to keep local environment better.
Okay. From a governor's office point of view, we have one of the, from a state point of view, one of the best regulations as far as the environment is considered, and we expect that if the project goes through, Harborco has to follow those particular rules, the regulations as such.
Yes,
But I think we've seen this with the Exxon oil spills in the
not
world.
clear.
Even when they
Yeah.
say they'll comply, that
You,
At
this
the
is
end of the
over
day-
this.
but they were caught at some point of time.
We are not
Oh,
here.
so as long as,
and
they can be
the
stopped
state is
within
still
3
paying the
months,
bill.
but
I think people you're going to be paying people's health bills from the environmental
Yeah.
catastrophes.
I mean, let's
the
take-
cancer
We
rates.
expect people to behave ethically. So thing is, yeah, that Exxon people didn't behave ethically doesn't mean that state should forever forbid any investment in oil.
So can
But
I?
we
drive
can
our
do
cars.
more, I think is the
Yeah,
point,
so-
you
so
know?
can-
And can I ask you a question? I mean, you all are familiar with Pittsburgh and the fact that, you know, we've got a steel industry here, a lot of coal plants and dredging of the rivers and so on and so forth, unfortunately. And do you know there are studies that have come out saying that children in Pittsburgh are generally born with a lower birth weight than other places because of all the pollution that the dirty energy in this region is putting into the air. And I don't think that people in
Maybe
Florida.
because the industries out here are not complying with some standards. That may be one reason.
Yeah.
We don't know how the have you
And
looked
moreover,
at-
the industries were here
Yeah.
like 1800s, 1890s, 80s. At that point of time, the regulations were not that tight. Every
Yeah, but they've
industry
been
people-
updated and they've been changed and there are and there
So
are
those
EPA.
contents, I mean, as per the things, the contents are still in the soil and all. So we will make sure that they don't do the same mistake that was done hundreds of years ago in Pittsburgh. So those kind of things.
Billions of dollars are at
We're
stake,
not
so
doing
we wouldn't do something like that.
And we're not talking about 100 years, we're talking about now. And we're talking about, you know, the potential for an oil spill, the
Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
for a register to be off. And,
We
But
can
that-
safeguard against
But
those
my
things. We can
whole
safeguard.
point is those things will happen either ways, even if I don't use them in my industry mix, those things would happen. They would do business with, you know, a
Someone
different
else.
port or different state, and it would still happen.
But we
So
have to
it's
take
a-
it one project at a time, and it doesn't make any sense for us to just let things go when we have the
I mean,
ability
you
right
can,
now
you
to.
can, you can probably give me options about the harm to ecology. That's your department,
I
right?
just don't think
But-
we're thinking about the long-term harm. You know, you can say you'll pay for the ecological harm, you know, but I grew up in New York. Every one of my friends has asthma. You know, we all have asthma. The amount of money that costs the state in missed school days, medical appointments, medicine, that is money that you're never going to pay because you don't think that's your fault. But I'm telling you right now, those are causes from the environmental impacts of large companies like Harborco going in and saying they're going to do what they can and not taking responsibility for their workers and the citizens around the
So-
community.
So I see that there's a major concern from the primary dirty part. So let's from a
Yeah.
governance
It's not
office, I can make an
primary,
idea.
or it's
I can
not
make
mixed,
an-
you know,
I
I
can make
think-
an idea. I can make an idea. And then with the Harborco port, we can set up a ecological research center. Okay, we can recruit the best faculties from around the world who are doing an ongoing
I think the research has been done. You know, I think we know that these are problems we're facing
Yeah.
and that it's time to take
I think
leadership.
we can discuss all these things when these things happen in your state. When this discussion is on your state, we can discuss what has to be done. We are here to discuss about.
You know, if the DRC wanted to give us a $3 billion loan, we'd be happy to retrofit all of our factories to, you know, the highest
Again,
environmental
this discussion
standard.
has happened previously. This discussion has happened. The pros and cons, SWOT analysis has been done all previously. So this is.
Well, that's the DRC's choice. You know, I understand they've chosen your site, but the DRC still has a choice, you know, where they want to spend their money. And so I think we'll let the
Okay,
DRC
let's do a
talk
vote
for
here
themselves.
about the industry.
Yeah,
mix.
let's
do
do
a
a
vote
voting now.
as to what
Because we
people
have
support.
more issues to.
Yeah, we have more issues to talk about.
So I think I will definitely prefer
Do we
a
have to-
mix of both,
Okay.
clean and dirty, because that will actually balance out whatever parameters that we were talking, like the jobs, and also if we consider the nature.
I'm all clean. I would like to see I want us to be leaders into the future of this project. We deserve,
Okay.
people in this city deserve that.
Okay.
Is this a straw vote?
Huh?
Straw vote or the first vote?
No, the first
this is the word.
First one. We can each topic by topic we can.
Okay. I agree.
I think when you do one vote, though, you do all the topics at once. You don't do it
We
topic
don't
by
have
topic.
that much time.
Yeah.
You can do it however you want it,
Okay.
and you're not limited number of rounds, however you want to do it.
Oh.
What would you like to see?
I want to clean and dirty, dirty one.
Thank you.
I'll also go with clean and dirty.
And then I'm all clean. You know, I think we're being short-sighted.
And you're dirty. Did you
I
vote?
think I don't have to
Yeah,
vote
she
because
doesn't have
you
to.
are voting.
25.
Oh, gotcha. So but before we move on, can I?
So what are you?
Clean and dirty. So 3 by 2.
Can I ask you, as the DCR, isn't one of your goals to preserve the environmental integrity of the coastal areas?
That's definitely one of my roles. But another role is to boost the economy.
You don't
Okay,
you can do
I
both
think we can do both.
with clean?
Yeah, I'll see. This is just the first round, right?
Mhm. Okay.
I
So
think
we're
we can
stuck.
move on to the next.
I think we'll move
Yeah,
on
we
and
can.
then maybe
Yeah,
come
we
back.
can move on to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe all of us can come here because we have some interest here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this
we
is not the
still
only.
have common interests.
Yeah, this is not the only issue, I believe.
And even the second issue is also about
Ecological
ecology.
impact.
Yeah, but I'd like to see if you are gonna make any change to the original proposal, because you are saying that you are going to do some harm to the ecology, right?
Right. Okay.
But I think that is within the federally and state
Exactly.
prescribed limits. But that's what is being written. I just read that.
And
Sorry.
I mean, honestly, it's nothing different to the issue that we already agreed upon, because since even you would like to see clean and dirty,
Dirty.
there would be some harm to the ecology, which is
Yeah.
pretty
That's different, right?
Yeah.
logical. I mean, it's some harm. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's gonna.
We have restricted the industry as such, but there will be definitely some harm or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that we're gonna alter nesting habits, reduce natural tidal flushing, destroy the wetlands, seriously erode the land, and have adversely impact existing fisheries and substantial subsurface geologic impacts. Are you arguing that that's okay?
No, I mean we have to look at both sides of the coin. We
All
have to
I'm
look at the
saying is-
economy. We have to look at
This
the
would have been
birds'
sounded very
nest.
difficult had this would be primarily dirty, because most of the industries are not here, so I don't think many of these things are valid now.
I just
Yeah.
think,
That's a good
just
point.
because it's the limit, there's drinking limits when you're driving. I
Yeah.
don't try and get as close to that limit before I get in a car. I don't go to the bar and say, how many beers can I have to get as close as I can without going over the limit. I think I have no beers
point.
and then drive.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we're trying
That
to.
would be the responsible.
That would be the responsible
I
thing.
think
And
that
I
would
don't.
be an exaggeration to bring a beer with this kind of.
Oh, I don't.
I think the limits make sense. I don't get why we're trying to get as close to the limit as possible.
Yeah.
Why don't we just not go even near the limit?
Yeah,
But we have to look at the potential of that particular place. We have to utilize that potential. Right?
Yeah.
but the birds can't speak for themselves, and the fish don't get to be at this meeting, so we have to consider the impact.
Yeah,
on
but
those.
what if it's within the limits?
Within the limits.
That's what.
But we're arguing that the limits are.
These limits are valid in the other states also. They are within these limits.
Does that mean that we're okay with 0 bald eagles being there when now there are 15?
The thing is that if
And-
we are not gonna go with this proposal, some other state, some other parties will open a port there, and they are gonna get the revenues.
And
we are gonna lose.
there
out.
might be some people who might have the food itself and not have the shelter to have this to stay in a home. So it's like fish versus people. So I would put it
I
that
have to
way.
say, if the proposal is kept this way, the DCR is not gonna give no to you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what are you looking at? Like when you say like you
Yeah.
want this project?
As the environmentalist say, one of my primary role is to keep the environment good.
Yeah. So when you say environment good, like what? Can you expand a little bit more? Because the one that they have told now is that they are filed with such a way that some harm to the ecology, but within federally and state prescribed limits. So what are you looking at when you say
If it is within the limit.
it is within the limits? So
Yeah, this is fine. Option B.
I mean, it
I
doesn't-
hope that the proposal we granted does not pollute the environment.
And doesn't
Anything further, I don't care.
so you're saying that you are looking at no harm to the.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, no harm.
But
Okay, so
no, there is no option but no. You
Oh,
have to go
actually, you
with
can do
the option
something.
B1,
We
B2.
can
Actually, you
do-
can do something to repair that.
yeah, we can.
The repair thing, yeah, that I agree.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
Again, why are we settling for, the standard? I think why don't we ask ourselves, can we do better? And try and improve.
Yeah, and me too.
Yeah.
I think improving
Yeah.
would be preventing as well,
Probably
in
we
my
can-
opinion.
Maybe what we can do is maybe look at the standards that is already
Yeah.
set. Maybe have a special study for our place and come out with new standards.
So here, see, the option B2 says about this repair aspect. Repair aspect, then first of all they take precautions as to what they are doing in their proposal, and secondly there is relocation. For example, if natural habitat, certain natural habitat is affected, there is a substantial relocation to those particular living beings, so that they don't die and they have their home. There's a relocation kind of thing. So Harborco would take care of that. That they would maintain that the ecological balance would be maintained, and there would be repair and relocation and things like that. So it's kind of no harm, but we are actually repairing.
I mean, the state foots the bill though for all the job retraining that goes into that. You know, all the people who were out there, you know, fishing before all of a sudden lose their jobs in the maintaining period. You know, yeah, they're going to build a fishery,
Job
but
feasibility and all
who's
those
gonna
things.
pay for all of that?
That kind of deeper analysis, we
You
can
know.
drill down in the analysis. Once this project is approved, we can do all those deeper analysis from Harborco. Maybe we can have
I
a
wouldn't
vote
approve
on
it
this.
till you would
Maybe we
do
can
those
have a
deeper
vote.
analysis. if
Maybe
I
we
was
can
the governor
have a
of the
vote
state.
in this particular issue, ecological impact. What do you think?
I mean, it would, I seriously think it's ridiculous for everybody to expect the port to improve the ecological setting, because it's.
No, I do expect the port to set or comply to the standards.
Exactly,
So
which
I
we are
would
already
suggest-
doing.
Yeah, but we have to look at specifically this area and maybe look at what all relocation as you were talking about. Anything specific that can be done so that something can be protected.
Yeah.
Something better can be done.
We
In
can
addition
negotiate
to
what
what
has
has
been
been
done
done
as to who would do
Yeah.
what, but yeah,
Yeah, I
this
mean-
particular project would make sure that no one is means no one is harmed as such.
So are
So-
you saying, let me ask you, are you saying then that you feel Harborco has a responsibility to not only maintain but to in
I-
some way improve the
Yeah.
environment?
Definitely, look, we would actually recommend something to them, and then I think they should either accept that or not accept that.
From the actually thing is, from the project scope, it doesn't say that whether Harborco has to take care of repair or the government or whosoever. It just says that this project has to take care that this particular issue is point is met. So maybe it's in the later phase that we negotiate as to who would be doing what, the roles and responsibilities aspects. So from the project perspective, that the guiding principles of this project is that there should be a relocation and rehabilitation of things, of living beings.
And seriously, you have to look at the port stand also on this, because it would cost us like twice the amount if you just to improve, because we have to change the entire construction plan. Well, the DRC already agreed to a proposal, but now we are willing to negotiate, so we can't go that further because we already started constructing. It would cost us like $280 million if you expect us to improve the setting. So
Yeah, but again, I told you, it's not something that we can decide over now.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to look at, go back and study and understand what are the things that we have to do for this particular area, and then come out with a separate strategy for that.
So as of now, what do we agree on?
Whether the guiding principle of this ecological impact, that we will be meeting point B2, that we collectively agree that this particular project is approved and done, we have to make sure that ecological balance is maintained.
Okay. So everybody goes with me.
Maintain and repair is what I'm doing.
I'm also
I vote for, you know, we improve it. Again, I think we're getting short-sighted.
Me too. Second.
What,
Because improving is something,
Improve?
improving is something we
what
can
about
do.
you?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Would you
I
approve?
agree.
I mean, you already agreed to us, so you have to.
No, I mean, you're going
Yeah, I
to
agree to you.
You agree?
B2.
You're not improve,
B2 or
you're
B1?
maintain and repair?
Oh,
Or
B2,
somehow.
B2.
Yeah, maintain, B2 is,
Maintain and
this is what she listed, B2.
Oh.
No, improving, look, the reason why I'm telling is that improving is something that can be done regardless of whether this project goes on or not. But there can be other specific projects which can be taken or brought into picture.
So whose responsibility is that then? If it's not Harborco, I mean,
It's not
See,
necessary it has to come from Harborco. It can be the state government or it can be the
In the
ecological.
interest of time, I think we should move on.
No, I'm just telling you. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I don't care who we have to bring in.
That's what she's gonna do to the unions. She's She's gonna tell you guys to shut up.
Next, next
That
is
we're coming to the next point.
employment rules and distribution.
Yeah, so being the negotiator from the union side, I'm really not happy with what is being put on the first one. I really want unlimited union preference to be given because definitely it's coming in our area and there are a lot of other factors that we already talked about like ecological impact, all those kind of things. But in this one, I don't think I'll be able to like go back and tell to the all people in the union that no union preference will be given.
Okay, can you tell me why it is so important for you to have a union when we are promising you so many jobs, like hundreds and thousands of jobs are being created?
Well, the promising is one thing, but when you have it in,
I mean-
well, that is a verbal agreement. I don't know whether it's gonna happen or not. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
what if I say I would give you a written agreement that says I would hire people only from Seafood? What if I say that? I mean, I could get cheaper labor from outside, but I'm promising you that I'll hire only people from here so that it improves the economic.
so that is kind of close to unlimited union preference, right?
Yeah.
What is the difference between unlimited?
No, I mean, there won't be any union, but I'm just saying.
If there's so many jobs, why not just give them unlimited union preference then? There's no way the union can fill them all. If there's all these jobs you're saying, you know, why not give them unlimited? You know, it doesn't make sense to try and limit it if there's gonna be more
Unlimited.
jobs than there are union
unlimited,
members.
unlimited union preference means that, yeah, I would be hiring only the union workers, right?
Yeah,
People who are in the
only union.
Yeah, but what the board
But
agreed to
if there's
was-
more jobs than union members, you're allowed to hire non-union members. They just have to be first preference.
we would be at least allowed to hire whoever we would like, right?
Yeah, that's what we don't actually agree with that because this is a port which is coming in this area, and we have to give a definite priority to people who is part of the union, and they are actually part of this area, and they are local. So we have to give importance to people who are there, who are actually in a way affected from an environment standpoint also. So we have to
I
give.
think you both are saying that on the same page. It says that jobs will be reserved for local union workers, and you say that you will be hiring from
No,
CETA.